Good morning, Vanessa. Good morning. Lovely sunny day again. Morning, Julie. I think everything's set up. Yeah, I can see me comments, which is great. Morning, Philippa. I hope you've all had a good weekend, a good VE weekend. I've had a lovely quiet weekend. And then I went out, watched our Danny gig yesterday, which was nice. Nice treat. Caught a bit of sunshine as well, which was lovely. So, yeah, you made it, yeah. You're making a window box card. Oh, I look forward to seeing that. Yep, I will. Right, I'm going to start. There's a few on, so I'll just have a little chat. Good morning, Brian. So we'll talk about what I'm going to use. So for the one that I did with, and I sent to Julie, I used the Julie's Daisy stamp set. But you know how much I love this cherry blossom. So this time I'm going to use the cherry blossom. Yeah, so that's what we're going to use to decorate it with. Now I've used the Star Medley die set of Hazel's, but you could use any of the sets, any of Hazel's medley sets for this. I loved them all, and it was a hard choice, but I went with the stars because I think I did the hearts last time, so changed my mind this time. So let's just pop those out the way. Morning, Cynthia. Morning, Christine. Thank you for joining me. Right, so to start with, we need, and we're making the triple diamond fold card. I think that's what it's called anyway, I'm not really sure. But this is how we do it. And it's 2 pieces of card that measure 5 inches by 8 inches. Okay, and we have to score both of them exactly the same. So we put the long piece across the top and we scored it at 2, 4 and 6. Okay, same with the other one. 2, 4 and 6. Okay, and then what we need to do is find the middle of that. Obviously, because it's 5 inches across, it's 2.5 is the middle. So we just put a little mark, top and bottom, to give us the halfway point. Morning, Francis. Okay, so easiest way to do this, I found. Now, you can use your scoreboard and score it first if you wish, but I found the easiest way to do this is to cut the 2 of them together at the same time, and then you know that they're both the same shape, and that's what you need. You can use your trimmer if you wish. So this score line and this 2 centimetre score line and the little mark that we've put on, if you line your ruler up across there and either draw a line and cut it. Morning, Gail. Morning, Philip. Penny, sorry, I've just seen Philippa's name above it. You can either cut it with a pair of scissors if you're any good. I'm not, so you can use your trimmer if you're no good with a scalpel and a ruler. But if you do them both at the same time, you will end up with the exact same shape on both of them, which is exactly what you want, really. Make sure the line's up before you start cutting. So you're going to do that on both ends. Find your score line, which is there. Find your middle point, which is there. And just trim them off. Slowly. Do it nice and neat. And you do the same thing on the other end. There we go. There we are. Let's see. I haven't got the light on today because it's bright enough, so it's difficult to see that score line, but obviously when you're doing it you'll be able to see yours a bit better. And if you want to draw it first, that's great. So you've got 2 pieces now that look like that. Okay, so once you've put all your scores in, use your bone folder. I've already done that with these. So you end up with 2 pieces that look like this. Okay. So now what you need to do, I think my trimmer needs a new blade because it's a bit feathery. So what I found is if you just wet your finger a little and run your finger gently along there without getting a paper cut, it seems to put the feathers back in again. It's not, then you don't see them. So what you need to do is put 2 of the triangles together and put some double-sided tape on them, a couple of pieces. Try and keep them together. Some people use a post-it note on the back to join them up, but if you're careful, you can do it. Put a couple of pieces on. You need to hold them together tightly, okay? Because you're going to stick something on the front of that, which you're going to glue something on the front of that, which will hold this tightly together. So if you put a couple of pieces on just to hold it, there we are, hold it together while you're gluing everything down. There we go. Right, now I found now it's easier to decorate the panels while it's, you know, now. Do them now. So what I've done is I've cut 4 pieces of pink, all the same, because it's the space between here and here is 2 inches. So they're just a little bit shorter than 2 inches. And then I'm going to glue all the panels on first. Now this is scissors cardstock, so with linen on it, linen cardstock I'm using. So I just want to make sure to get the linen to the front on all of them. It was blocked. Nice. There we go. Hi Andreen. So I'm going to put some glue on and I'm going to put all the pink panels on first, leaving a little border around the edge. There we are. As you can see, I've already stamped the and coloured some of the flowers in, but I do have one to show you how to do it ready with the distress ink. And the colours I've used, the colour I've used for this is Pitch Flamingo, because it matched this paper really nicely, this backing card that I'm using. I thought Pitch Flamingo would be nice, and Cherry Blossoms are pink, why not? So on with all the panels. It's quite a quick card once you've got everything prepped, really. It's not a difficult card to do. So it just looks more difficult than it is, really. Once you know, you know. So on with all the panels. And then we can put these on. Excuse me. These have been stamped with Onyx Black Versafine. And then coloured in, like I said, with the Pitch Flamingo. And the leaves were coloured with an Inktense pencil. That wasn't very straight, Tracy. There we go. And I've also added to the middle of it some gems as well. So it didn't, you weren't sitting watching me put gems on. But I think any of the flowers, like I said, I used the daisies before. Any of the flowers would be perfect for this. Or you could even use papers, if you've still got some papers left from when Hazel had the distress pad out. That would be quite nice too. And then you wouldn't have to do so much stamping, but that's half the fun, isn't it? All that stamping. So here we go. 4 panels on. So that is the back parts of your card already. So we can put that up the top. Now, the reason I chose this size card to cut it this way, because you can do it bigger if you wish, it's up to you, is because that fits just nicely on there. And on the side ones, you can put the smaller ones or the larger ones. It's totally up to you. So I'm just going to take all of this sticky off for a wee minute, the backings, and then I'll show you what I did with the medley dies to get where I got with the panels. There we go. Okay, so with the panels, I cut out a white backing panel, then a pink one to match the layers that we've put on to the back of the card, and then I used the star dies to cut those out. I'll just grab them out and then you can see which ones I used. Okay, so I've used this one to cut the whole thing. Then I used the next one down to put those stars in. And then I did use the star panel in the middle. You don't have to do that one if you don't want to, because we are going to put a lot of flowers on it. But that is how it got cut out through the machine. And that's how you end up with that. And then obviously you just use the back piece to cut out the pink one and then the white one. So they're all going to match. They're all going to be the right size to sit on top of each other perfectly. So I'll just pop these out the way. Right, so we're now going to glue this one together. Sometimes it takes a while to get them right, but I've got them all lined up ready so we don't have to mess about. So a bit of glue on the back and then just line the pattern up. There we are. And then because it's glue, you can slide it into place so you can't see the white on the back. I mean, you don't have to put the white on the back, but obviously when you glue it onto there, if you don't have the white, you'll see the pink through. But then it's up to you if that's what you want. Go with that one. So this is going to go on there now too. And this is where it takes a little time to match them up. But once you've got it, you've got it. There we are. Because it's glue, you can slide it into place. Make sure you can't see any of the pink around it. There we are. And once you've got it in place, you can give it a good press down. There we are. Now, easiest way I've found to do this is to lay it down and put glue on there. And then you don't get any messy glue on the back of your panels on here. So, there we go. So, lay it flat and make sure the corners, there we are. You don't want this bottom one to hang too far down here, because obviously the card won't stand up. So just give it a good press down, and then that is your middle part on. Now for the side pieces, you can use these big ones if you wish, and I do have two ready there. You can use the big ones on it again if you want. So it's 3 big panels, but I think I'm going to go with the smaller panels. And I made those by just using the middle part of the stars there. But if I put that on there now, it looks a bit blank behind it. So I decided to cut 2 of the pink ones and 2 of the white ones, just the same as we've done. Followed it all the way through with this. And the easiest way to do that is to draw, get your pink piece of paper, your backing card, whatever you're using, put that under this, draw around it, and then cut it out and trim it just a little inside the lines, so you end up with this piece. And then do exactly the same with the white piece, and then you'll get your perfect angles to go on there. So on we go with that one. It's just nice to be able to see that little bit of pink behind this panel that's going to go on. And the glue I'm using is Studio Light Tacky Glue. It's really good, sticks quite quickly, weather depending obviously. So on that goes. And then we're ready to put the panels on. So you can put them as far over as you wish. I'm going to put them there, and then you can still see a little bit of the, but what you don't want to do is put them too far over, because this card can stand in various ways, okay, but you will need to probably make a box for it. Let me just measure how big it goes. Yeah, you might go in an 8x8 envelope actually, if I'm honest. So, but when you're making a special card like this, I don't see any reason why making a box for it is a chore, because it's quite a special card, isn't it? So we're going to put that there. It's going to go roughly halfway, so a bit of glue on that one as well. Pop that down, and then just line them edges up as much as you wish. Halfway is good. There we are. And then do the same with the other side. Just a bit of glue on the end there. So some glue on there. So it's pretty easy, really, to do once you know how. So have a look where you've got that one lined up and try and do this one the same. There we are. So there's your 3 panels now, already on, ready to decorate. So what I've got is a whole heap of cherry blossoms. Now let me see where we've gone with this, because they're all mixed up. So I want one of those on there on one edge, one on the other edge, 2 of them for each edge, 3 flowers, 3 leaves rather, and these are from the medley leaves, I think. No, they're not. No, I'm telling fibs. I'm telling fibs. I shall find out which one they're from now. I've got them here just on the floor. There we go. There. So let's see which one it came from. I've got that many stamp sets in here now that I oh, it's those leaves are smaller, and they're from the fresh florals, so they're a good size to go on the small panels. They are. So let's see where we're at. Right, I'm going to bring in the Distress Ink in Pink Flamingo and a water brush and some water. Like I said the other day, I don't put water in my water brushes because I press too hard and end up flooding everything. So I've got these to colour in. So what I do normally is use clean water, not too much, just damp, and put some water on the leaves, the petals, sorry. And this is just super smooth card. It's not anything fancy, but you could use your mixed media cards for this if you wish, or any other medium you want to colour with, really. Has anybody got any questions so far? No? Morning, Maggie. There we are. Bit of water on, and then pick up your ink and then just let it flow where it wants to go. There we are. And then you're not, it's kind of a loose look. I don't think I wet this one. No, I didn't. There we are. And literally, that is all I ever do to colour in the cherry blossoms. You don't need too much. You can go back in and make them darker if you wish. You know, once they've dried, just put a little bit of dark in the middle. But that's all you really need. I think the card is that fancy. You don't have to go to too much detail and colour the flowers. So wet that away. And let's start. So I have cut into some of the flowers, as you can see. Thanks, Cynthia. I hope you have a go at making it. I'm dying to see what flowers you all use. So I'm going to pop that on there. Just a little bit of dimension on the flowers, nothing too much. Is this the one that doesn't work? No, this one works. So I'm going to put one on there, and I have a flower to put in the middle, I think, as well on here. I'm not sure if I've got one or two. Let's see. Put this one on this side. And just give it a little bit of dimension as you're doing it. There we are. Okay. A big one in the middle because it's a bigger panel. Excuse me, I've had this rotten cold and it's left me with a silly cough, which is very annoying. Particularly. There we are. Put that one in the middle. So we've got the 3 large ones on, and now we can add some of the smaller ones and some of the leaves as well. There we are. So I'm going to pop one there. A smallish one over here. I quite like that one down there. And maybe that one, we'll see. Or maybe a small one. The choice is mine. Okay, pop that one in the middle. So you've got like a bunch of them. And the same on that side. And now we've got a large one and a small one left. Let's see. I'm going to take that small one and put it on this one, I think. Equal them out like that. So there's like a diamond shape in the middle. There we go. And then I'll use this big one up there. We need to keep a little bit of space down the bottom because we're going to put a sentiment on there. So, there would be great. And now, if you need some leaves, which I think I do, I'm going to put some leaves in. Again, coloured with Inktense pencils. And whatever I don't use will go in my little bag, and I'll use them again on another project. It's always nice to have more than you need, isn't it, really? So, I need some leaves down here, but I don't need all of them. So I'm just going to nip. I don't need a huge piece, I just need a little bit of greenery in there. And I'm just going to nip the bits off that I need, cut into it or pull into it as I've just done. So quite like that. This is a bit for me that takes the longest, messing about with leaves and flowers. But to get a good composition, you need to do that really, don't you? There we go. So that's the middle one done. And let's see what we have now. We could do with a bit of leafage on here and one on the other side, and the same on the other side. So that worked out quite well. We had enough, and we've still got some little spares to pop in and around again on another project. Little squares, I mean little leaves. Where am I? There. So I'll keep all them in my scrap box. Now, the other thing we need now, obviously, is a sentiment. So, we have a whole range of sentiments that we could use. So, I pulled out this set, which is the birthday message set, and the birthday message die set to go with it. And I've cut those out, and what I did was I put them on white with pink. And I thought I could use one of those, or I could use the brand new set of Julie's banners that she had, which I love, and do it in pink. And I think you'll find that I think the pink one stands out much nicer against all the white and the pink on there. So that's the one I'm going to go for. Now, what I used for this is Kitsch Flamingo Oxide. And I did it gently a couple of times, and it's come out beautifully. And on the back, I've got 2 little bits of foam tape. So I'm going to pop that on there. Hopefully it's straight. And then all I've got to do is put a few gems on the flowers that I didn't gem up before, that I coloured in. So one on there, and one there, and there's one just in the middle that you can see just there. So let's move everything out of the way, and I can show you this. When I get these banner stamps, I always cut out a load of banners and put them in a bag ready. Just sit and do them overnight while I'm watching the telly, and then they're all ready for when you need. Do them in all different colours. So this is the card. I'll take some pictures and I'll put it on so you can see it later. But what I also wanted to show you is the other day I put on a double, well no, it wasn't a double diamond, it was a diamond easel kind of shaped card. So one of the ladies, and I can't remember what her name is, so I apologise for that, asked me could I show her how to do the shape on it. So we'll pop that to one side and I'll show you how to do the shape. It's very similar to what we've just done. Okay, so I'm not going to make the whole card, I'm just going to show you the way of doing it. So this card base was a 6x6 card base to start with. And what I've done is I've cut it down to 6 inches across the fold by 5 1/4. Okay, and then I've got my scoreboard and I've scored it halfway. So you're starting off with your basic easel way of making a card, and then in exactly the same way as we did before to get the points for this one, I've measured halfway across and I've put a line. And now from this score to that, I'm going to cut, okay? Just in exactly the same way as we did before. Cut the top and the bottom at the same time, okay? To your score, from your score, sorry, to the middle. There we go. So now you've got this, all right? And that's how you make the easel part of it. So you then use these as the top, okay? What you do is you use all of them and cut the big one out, the whole lot. And you can cut the big one out and put it on there. And that's basically how you get your shape to do that. Now, when you're doing your mats and layers, okay, the big one will fit on there better. This has to have the other piece on it as well. But when you're doing your mats and layers for this, once you've cut it down, the easiest way of doing it really is cut yourself a piece of pink card, centre it up, draw your line so you've got the exact shape, then cut that off. So this pink card was just slightly smaller than this part of the bottom of the card here, so that it will fit nicely. It's about 1/4 inch smaller both ways. So that will then go on there, okay? And then to do the white one, you do it in exactly the same way. Cut this one slightly smaller, find the centre, you can eyeball it, it's fine. Draw your line, and then cut them off. And this will give you then the shape that you need for the top. And what I did with that then is I stamped a design on these. If you go back and have a look at the actual card I made, it's on, I think I put it on a couple of days ago, can't remember now, but it's there. There we go. Then that will go on there, and that'll be your mat and layer. And then you can cut yourself some mats and layers to go on there or on the back. How you decorate it's up to you. And then you've got your piece on the front, which you can add flowers to as well. I think I'd put it there so that the whole card then is decorated up. But then you can use all your little flower stamps, whatever you've got, flourishes, leaves, and decorate that part. So that's how you do that card as well. Okay, I think I might finish this, but not now. And I'll pop the two of them on. I'll finish it now, but not in front of you. after this live, and I'll pop the 2 of them on so you can see them. Okay, so that's it. I'll bring the other one back in. Yeah, you're right, Brian, it's not too complicated. It's quite easy, but looks a bit, you know, special. And of course you've got the back to write on then as well. So yeah, that wasn't too long, just an hour. So you can all go off and enjoy the sunshine. And I will be back in a fortnight. I think Philippa said that it is a bank holiday, but I've got one prepped already, and I don't think I'm doing anything on the bank holiday except chilling out. So I don't see it being a problem. So I'll see you in a fortnight. Obviously Philippa will be back with Technique Tuesday in between. So enjoy your day, and thank you so much for joining me. Bye.